Hello, everyone. You're listening to Game Rivals, a podcast where a Nintendo fan and a PlayStation fan talk about the latest games and happenings in the gaming community and industry. I'm one of your hosts, Maximilian X, and together with Sean Templar, we bring you this bi-weekly podcast about video games. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Game Rivals. I'm your host, Maximilian X, here together with Sean Templar. Say hi to the lovely people, Sean Templar.
Hello, lovely people.
Hi, welcome back to another episode, and I guess we're gonna jump straight into this week's first topic, which is what we've been playing. Sean, it's been a couple of weeks since we last talked. So, what have you been playing lately?
It's been a long time indeed, Max. I've had a quite of a diverse lineup I've been playing lately. Kind of had a dip in playing stuff, so I skipped out on finishing Red Dead Redemption and Assassin's Creed
Wait,
Odyssey.
so you didn't finish it yet?
No, not yet.
Wait, how far are you, anyways?
I think I almost finished Red Dead Redemption. I'm in chapter 6. Like, I'm almost at the end. I just don't feel like finishing it right now.
What was? Who does? Okay, you know what? No.
Yeah.
Because I know that if I'm gonna criticize you on that, I know that there's someone in the audience who I know who's going to criticize me on not finishing games. So
Maybe it's
fine.
yeah.
Okay, so but how has it been so far? At least how has your experience been with Red Dead Redemption then? Playing it.
Yeah, I loved it. Like before, like the week before Red Dead came out, I was playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey, which I loved. I still need to finish that one as well. And then I started Red Dead, and then after like say end of November, I kind of got like this game dip that I really didn't want to play anything, right? So now I found a few other titles, some new, some old that I'm kind of playing in between, waiting for new
Yeah.
stuff to come out like Anthem or Division. So
Okay, but okay, so why did you like? What made you stop playing Red Dead?
I don't know. I just had this moment in which I just thought like, oh, I don't feel like it. Maybe it's because I know I'm getting to the end and that I kind of like where it's going, so I kind of don't want it to end. I think that that's more like what's happening.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, fair, I guess. I mean, I've stopped earlier in games for less, but at least I finish them when I get to it. So,
I'll
but
finish
all
it
right,
soon. I'll let you
okay,
know when I finish it.
okay, man. You're keeping me and the audience in suspense, man. You gotta finish it. We gotta know how you found what you thought of the ending.
Okay.
All right. So, what else have you been playing?
So last week I bought a game which is called Hong Kong Massacre, which is I
Hmm.
bought it on a PlayStation, and it's this pretty hardcore top-down shooter. It's kind of inspired by these old Hong Kong action movies, in which like the hero has two guns and flies all over the place and jumps all over the place in slow mo and kills.
So, is it kind of like
Stranglehold, top-down.
okay? So it's basically Stranglehold top down. So
Yeah,
it's
but it's like really, really hard. Like when I saw the trailer, I was like, "Oh, this looks fun," and it's only $16. So I'm like, "Oh, I'll just play this, have some fun with it." But it's really hard because like if you get hit by a bullet once, you die. So you have to.
okay. So it's more like the Hotline Miami then.
It might be from the same developer. I don't know. I never played Hotline Miami. It could be that it's from the same developer. Let me just quickly
I'll have to check it
check
out.
that for
What?
you.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it's like it's really hard, and that's what I kind of like about it. And the effects, it looks really nice. It's pretty simple in the way you play the game, but yeah, that kind of makes it great as well. Let me just quickly check those guys. We are currently working
All
on
right.
Massacre.
Does it really? I mean, it does sound like what you said. It sounds like Stranglehold, but since it's top down, it just reminds me of Hotline Miami.
Yeah, it's really fun. It's like really hard, and it also has some depth to it. So like you have an upgrade system, so you can upgrade your weapons, and the way you upgrade your weapons is that you have three same objectives for every mission. It's you have to get stars for finishing the game within a certain time. You get stars for not using the slow motion of the bullet time effect. and you get stars for, I believe, only hitting enemies instead of like objects in the environment. And so with those
Mm.
stars, you can upgrade your weapons, more stuff like unlimited ammo or faster fire rates or more magazine sizes. It's really nice. I didn't expect it. I was like, yeah, when I bought it, I thought like, oh, it'll be fun, but it's kind of hard, and that makes it fun for me because I thought like I'll just play this in 2 hours and I'll be done with it, and I'm only at the fourth or the fifth level so far. But yeah, I like it so far.
All right.
And I
Cool.
also
Sounds awesome.
I have two other games I'm currently playing in between. You might have seen the stream or read about it that the Respawn came out with Apex Legends out of the blue.
Yeah, yeah. We
Um,
definitely need to talk about that a bit more
yeah,
later.
yeah,
But what's your experience? I didn't play it for that long, but what's your experience been so far?
yeah. So I played it on the PlayStation and on the PC, and generally I play shooters on the PC because of the accuracy with the mouse. Um, I like where the game's going. It kind of reminds me of Titanfall meets Overwatch, because like every character
Mm.
has their abilities, and it's like really a fleshed out story for the characters. It's not just like
Well,
some random
you are
person.
missing like stuff like the wall running.
Yeah, but to be honest, I'm happy like there are no Titans in the game. There's no wall running, and I'm kind of happy that that's not in there because um, I couldn't play Titanfall multiplayer because it was too fast for me. People just would jump all over the place, you know. And in this case, it's not there, so that's kind of cool. And the combat itself is also pretty extensive. Like you can pick up weapons, but then you also have to get attachments for those weapons, like bigger magazines or
Yeah,
barrel
exactly.
extensions, which reduce recoil and scopes and stuff like that. So it's kind of has PUBG elements in there as well. It's 60 persons, I believe, instead of 100, and you're always in a squad of three. And you can also,
Yeah.
for example, if your teammate gets downed, you can either revive him or you can grab his card and then respawn him at a respawn station. So it's cool. It's not like, oh, your team's dead, it's over.
How long have you? How long have you? How long did? Like, how long have you been playing it for now?
I think I
This has been
played
out.
a couple of hours. I've won one match and I've played like a couple of hours. And the funny thing is, I played it on the PlayStation yesterday, and I had more fun on the PlayStation than I had on the PC, which is strange because normally it's the other way around. But
Well,
yeah, yeah.
I think the reason for that is because I've heard people talking about Apex Legends and their experience so far as well. Is that at least in their from their perspective, I haven't played it on PC yet, so I can't confirm it. But at least to me, the little that that I played, it felt to me the same way. Is that it felt like this game was made with consoles in mind.
Yeah,
So like playing with a controller, that seems to be like the preferred way to play it. I'm gonna be saying this often, but I am not one of the biggest like first person shooter kind of guys. It always takes me a while to get used to the controls.
okay.
I am used to playing first person games with a controller, mostly back from the Xbox 360 days, and now also on PlayStation 4 and even on PC. If the game allows it, I'll play with my Xbox 360 controller,
That's
and
nice.
it feels all right. It feels like most first person shooters that I've played, in that it's very intuitive to a controller.
Yeah,
So if you're
definitely.
used to playing like first person shooter in controllers, I think you'll gravitate to playing it on the console more. I mean, it's not like there's crossplay on it anyway, so it doesn't really matter. It's not like you're gonna face
It
off
wouldn't be
against a
fair
bunch
to
of
other
PC
people, I think,
players.
with PC and
I mean,
console. But the funny thing is you see more and more games getting PC input support. So like mouse and keyboard are coming to consoles as well. So it's funny to see
yeah.
that that's going to happen more and more, I think, going on to the future.
Right. I mean, that's true. I mean, Microsoft already, I think, announced that they're gonna be doing uh, be like natively supporting keyboard and mouse on the Xbox One console. So that's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, but you know what the funny thing about that is that I read the other day that Sea of Thieves is going to get a big PvP update in the future, like in one of these weeks. And
Hmm.
before that update comes out, they're going to create this option to opt out of a certain service because now it's crossplay. So Xbox people play together with PC people, and they're going to introduce this feature in which you get to opt out of that because otherwise, if it's PvP, people with a mouse and a keyboard might have an advantage over you. So there's gonna be a feature that you can say, I just want to play with console people, or I just want to play with PC people, or I want to play with both. So it's kind of
All
funny to
right.
see that they're still catering to that option as well.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Oh,
This is one last
I'm
game
curious
I've
how that's
been.
gonna work out.
Yeah, this is one last game I've been playing, and which is kind of old game. I believe it's from 2010, 2011, which is Shogun 2 Total War. I don't know if you're
Oh,
familiar with the Total War
yeah,
franchise.
yeah. I'm familiar with the Total War series. Yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, my PCs have never been up to snuff to play those games, but I would love to play one of those games someday if I
I
eventually
love those
upgrade
games.
my PC for
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, I love the. I've almost had them all. I skipped the Warhammer ones because I'm not into that, and I didn't like the Napoleon one with the musket because the combat is a bit too slow. But I love the one with Rome, Rome 2, Medieval 2, Shogun. What I love about the Shogun is I'm kind of a fan of the samurai age, so it's cool to
Yeah.
see that you have all these samurais and you have this like with.
Ah, you just want to pal around with Nobunaga, isn't it?
Yeah, that's yeah. And what's cool is that like with Rome 2, for example, you get a lot of territories to start out, and here you have like your own small castle, and that's it. And then you really have to think about like, okay, am I going to build up an army and take another region, or am I gonna wait because it has so much consequences on everything, like your food supply, or your upkeep, or your money, or your taxes. And there was this moment
Yeah.
in which I like greedily built up multiple armies and started invading other territories. And then 2 turns later, I lost all those territories because armies showed up out of this blue, and I don't have enough money at that moment then to upkeep my army, so I have to either disband my units or take everybody back. It's fun because it like pushes you into different directions. And I'm really looking forward to the new one, Three Kingdoms, which is coming out next month. So.
Oh wow. It's based. Is it based on Romance of the Three Kingdoms
Yep,
then?
I love that era.
Nice.
So it also has more hero units like Liu Bei and Guan Yu and stuff like that. So I'm curious
Yeah.
to see what's going to happen with that.
All right. Cool.
Yeah,
Look forward to hearing from you from that one.
yeah. So
All right.
what are you playing right now?
I guess the same as last time. I'm still. I mean, I'm still training in Smash. I mean, whenever I have time to play Smash, I'm just like grinding on that one. I mean, recently, last week, the 31st, they surprise dropped Piranha Plant, which was free for people that bought Smash and registered their copy of the game before the 31st, and then suddenly on the 31st they dropped Piranha Plant as a playable character, and he it I, he she it is an interesting character. I don't know what to call Piranha Plant.
Okay,
It's an it.
okay, but tell me this
It is an
quickly
interesting
because
character.
I
Yeah,
I never got into the Smash games, and this might sound really funny. Um, the last Smash game I played was on the GameCube, I believe,
yeah,
and
Melee, the best one
I didn't.
until now. Until
This
now.
is going to be really embarrassing to say, but I didn't know how the game worked back then. I still don't know how the game works now. I played Smash on the Switch like 3 weeks ago at a friend's place. I just randomly started up the game and I chose Link, and then I just started to play, and on some miraculous way I won, which was a complete surprise to me, but I
Well, it's
didn't know what I
because
was
it's press
doing.
A to win.
I didn't
It's like
know.
literally press A to
Okay, but
win.
like, what? How does it work? Like, tell me, as a non Nintendo, non Smash player, which is really embarrassing to admit, how does this game work? And why do people love this game so much?
Well, okay, so I don't. Well, here's the thing: with Smash, you basically have two camps of people that play Smash. You have the competitive scene, which is really awesome to look at, and it's really fun to see how people can start from the bottom and then suddenly, when they only have one stock left, come back and just take out the other opponent because they got angry and they're like going Super Saiyan and all this stuff. But the real reason why Smash is as fun as it is, and it has been so fun for the past 20 years, is very simple. The gameplay is just approachable. I
Okay.
mean, you don't need to know any combinations other than A uses the standard attacks, B uses the special attacks. If you tilt the controller, you do different special attacks and different normal attacks, and that's it.
I played with the Pro
And the rest
controller.
is just plain fun.
Does the Pro
No.
controller have the motion stuff as well? Because I played with the Pro controller.
You. I think you can enable like I think a shake or something to perform an action, but other than that, no, not really.
So I
No,
have to shake the
there's no,
controller and press A to do or B to do a special
no,
attack.
no, 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 no. Like I think you can shake the controller and then you perform a taunt or something, but
Okay.
since they patched out taunting online, nobody's doing that. For some reason, they resorted to teabagging.
Oh, nice.
But
Really
no,
mature.
that's not no, that's not
I
nice.
know. I'm being
That's not cool
sarcastic.
enough. I don't know why they took out taunts, but whatever. But yeah, so I've basically been practicing my one of my main characters, which is Ness, who I've been maining since the N64 days.
I have no idea who that
Um,
is. Let me just look that up really quickly.
He's the main character from Earthbound. If and I get it if you don't know Earthbound, I'm not going to expect you to know what Earthbound is.
Is it the little guy with the
Most
hat and the backpack?
yeah.
Oh, I kicked his ass when I played the first time.
Oh, when we play together, I will kick your ass
Oh,
with
well,
him.
pick your battles.
You
I
believe
won't.
me.
I won't play against
You
you.
believe me. Yeah, so I've been practicing with him lately. I need more time to practice and like just go on like a complete spree online.
But isn't that
I
the
I
power of
have
the
been
Switch
improving.
that you can bring it with
Yeah.
you all the places and play it on the go? I remember you saying that like one
Yep.
episode ago. Like, that's what makes the Switch so amazing. I can take it with me everywhere.
It is, and I
Woo!
have been practicing on the go. The only difference is the control scheme is different when I play on the go than when I use a GameCube controller at home.
Oh,
So
you play with the
sometimes I
GameCube
have to
controller.
like mentally make that switch first.
Okay.
Pun unintended.
Wow. That's a good one.
Sorry. No, seriously, that was not intended.
Okay.
But yeah, so that's what I've mostly been playing, but I've also been feeling a bit nostalgic for some games, so I dusted off my 3DS and plugged in Castlevania Order of Ecclesia. It's a DS game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, if you've played Symphony of the Night, then you know the gameplay style for this particular Castlevania because basically everything that came out on the Game Boy Advance right up until the DS is basically a different version of Symphony of the Night. So if that was your bag, then Order of Ecclesia is like for you. It is very fun. It is very challenging. The main character, people are, I guess, are kind of split on it. I'm also kind of, I mean, I like the main character because the main character is a tragic one, since she was betrayed by someone she trusted, and because of that betrayal, she lost all her memories and all her emotions. So she's literally like a blank slate.
Oh,
She
darn.
doesn't
Ugh.
smile. She doesn't laugh. She doesn't do anything. Her eye is like completely on the prize all the time. And when she interacts with like the villagers that she saves, it's kind of sad because they're like, "Oh, thank you," and she's just like, "Yeah, okay, whatever."
Wow, that's really
And it's
depressing.
and well, it is Castlevania and it is Dracula being an asshole. So
I only
yeah,
played the Castlevania that kind of looked like Devil May Cry. That's the only one I played. That's like the
wait, the
link I
one on
can.
PlayStation 2?
No, there was one on PlayStation 3, I believe. That was kind of more like a.
Oh, you mean Lord of Shadows?
I think that's the one. It kind of reminded me of Devil May Cry.
Yeah, that one was totally trying to rip off Devil May Cry and ripping off, old fashioned God of War.
Oh, I love God of
Um,
War. You know that.
yeah, the first game was apparently good. The second game was not that great,
Hmm.
but
Yeah, I can't remember that the first one was kind of like a comeback and everybody was happy about it. The second one didn't live up to expectations.
yeah, I mean, it had a lofty goal because it was the first 3D Castlevania game that actually worked as a 3D Castlevania game. Like previous attempts were like um uh crap. So yeah,
Okay.
I mean, of course, if your standards were low to begin with, then yeah, you can only go higher from there.
Hmm.
So yeah, those are the things that I've mostly been playing. I've been playing like other DS games on and off like real quick. I plugged in. I actually played another 3DS game, which was Mario and Luigi Dream Brothers, which is the latest entry in the Mario and Luigi RPG games.
Oh, there is even
I
RPG
played it for
game.
a round, then I dropped it because I got stuck. So then I decided, you know what, let me see where I was, and then suddenly I was able to continue for somewhat weird reason. So
Okay.
I might actually be able to finish the game now.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's it, or anything else?
Um. No, I mean, well, yeah, except for the one thing where I played like a little bit of Anthem, when the public beta was live,
Nice.
like a little bit, like I think at most an hour, and the thing that I did there was just go into the free play mode and just fly around and kill some random try to kill some random encounters. Mostly what I did was start a battle, see that I was about to die, and then like peace off like a bitch. So
Well, let's not spoil too much because we have a lot of more Anthem coming up later. I do have one more
yeah,
question. What game
sure.
are you looking forward to, which is coming out this year? Let me just sneak that one in.
Oh wow.
You have to pick one.
Oh really? Oh come on.
Yeah, otherwise we'll just.
Okay, you know what? You go first because I have to think about it. You go first. What are you looking forward to so far?
Okay, so um, it's difficult. But like I'm hoping.
See?
Okay,
See?
okay, but like I have multiple games in my mind, so like I have to be like okay, I have to name one. But like let me put it this way: I made a prediction in our first episode that The
Yeah.
Last of Us is going to come out this year. So
Mm-hmm.
a lot of stuff is starting to point in that direction that it's going to come out this year. So I have to say Last of Us Part 2. If we don't get Last of Us Part 2, then my pick would be Division 2. Because I put a
Ah,
lot
you
of.
only get one.
Yeah, okay, okay, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
that's
Let me
cheating.
just put it
I
as
get
Last of
two
Us.
now. I get
Okay,
two
I'll
now,
give you
right?
2.
Okay, fine. I get two. Okay, so the first thing I'm looking forward to is Fire Emblem Three Houses because that game looks awesome.
Yeah, I saw the trailer you sent
It's
me. It looked really nice.
yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
The last game that I played was Fire Emblem Echoes, which was a remake of a Super Nintendo game, which is a side story of the whole franchise.
Did this remake come out on the
Which is
Switch or?
no on the
Oh,
3DS.
okay. So
Yeah,
it wasn't a cash
but it
grab.
was really cool because we basically play as like two different main characters,
Okay.
and you're leading two different armies. So and it's all in parallel. So what one does have an effect on the other's storyline, even though they don't actually interact with one another.
That sounds cool.
So that's actually a really cool game, and the story's really cool. And the main characters, Celica, and Abel, yeah. No, wait, not Abel. Fuck, I forgot the other dude's name. I only remember Celica because she's actually cute.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
but yeah, but their storylines are pretty interesting. At least in terms of Fire Emblem. Still need to finish that one, but I'm actually pretty close because I'm already halfway through that game. And yeah, the other thing that I'm probably looking forward to the most is a third party game on the Switch called Daemon X Machina, which is a mech based, kind of like free roaming action game. It's very like I'll show you I'll send you the trailer for that during the break.
Okay.
But suffice to say, it looks awesome. It runs in Unreal Engine 4, so you know it's pretty,
Wow, on Switch. Oh
and you
no.
have big mech bosses.
Okay, that sounds
So
cool.
yeah, it looks pretty awesome. I've seen some gameplay footage of that as well, and at least the rumors have it is that that game is probably going to come out sooner than later, which is good because it's been announced for like almost a year ago. So hopefully it is coming out sooner than later.
If that's long, you should look at Sony's lineup. We sometimes announce games that like are
Yeah,
2
how
years.
is Days Gone going?
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's
You
finally
still
gonna come
waiting for
out.
that counter to drop?
Well, like
Because
it's
I
finally
feel
gonna
that they're gonna
happen.
delay that game again.
No, 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 no. They pushed it already like multiple times. It's gonna come out in April. They are committed to April. I'm looking forward to that as well. We'll see about what it is.
All right, we'll see.
Yeah.
All right,
Cool.
okay. I guess let's wrap it up
Cool.
with this segment, and then we'll take a quick break for you guys to catch up, catch your breath, and We'll be right back.
Alrighty.
And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the second segment of the episode. And in this segment, we are going to talk about our hidden gems of gaming. So, I think I want to start off first because I got a lot on my plate. Um, I know it says hidden gem, and it's basically what we're going to talk about when we bring up the hidden gem segment is, well, one of our hidden gems in gaming, a game that we feel that a lot of people either don't appreciate or that we feel that touched us in a special way. No, not like that. Not like that, bro. Not like
Oh,
that. Just so a
this
game that
game
left
made me
a game that
cry.
left a like a special impact on you as a gamer. Not anything weird.
Not any
People, not anything weird.
cute characters, as you mentioned in the previous segment.
I can have waifus in video games as much as anybody can have a waifu in anime. So
Do people
there.
actually have that? A wife in anime? I
You
don't.
haven't been to the anime. Yeah, I feel like have you ever been to like a Comic Con or
Nope.
like
Nope. 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 I don't watch
a
anime or stuff like
Reddit
that.
board about anime or on Twitter?
Nope.
Seriously?
I'm
Or DeviantArt?
social media. What do you call that? I'm not really on social media, so I like a lot of this stuff.
DeviantArt is not
No,
social
no, I know
media.
DeviantArt, but like, seeing because I'm not a designer or an artist, I have like, like no. Look, I have these moments when I'm on YouTube and I watch a video on purpose, and then 3 hours later, I end up somewhere I never expected to be. Nothing weird, but like I don't bounce onto DeviantArt or stuff like that in one of those moments.
All right, fine, fair,
But
fair.
you have a hidden gem.
Yeah. So, like I said, I'm gonna cheat a little bit on the first time we're doing this segment because mine is not one game; it's actually three games under the same brand, and we're going to be talking about Konami again this time because it is the Konami Rebirth series on WiiWare, which, as you may or may not know, um, the WiiWare is the indie branch of the Wii Shop channel, which launched back in 2007. Yeah, 2007, along with the Virtual Console and like a bunch of indie developers and also third-party developers released smaller games on the Wii Shop channel, and the Wii Shop channel has since passed on. Rest in peace, Wii Shop channel. The 31st of January was the last time it was live.
It's
Long
so
live the Wii
sad
Shop
to be
channel.
a Nintendo fan
Well,
because like
here's well,
stuff
see,
prematurely dies, like the Wii U and who knows what
no,
else.
I mean it's been alive for well over a decade now, and I mean it had a good run, but and it's part of the conversation of uh digital storefronts and buying games digitally, but that's like a story for another day. But basically, that is what WiiWare is: a place where indie developers and and third party developers could bring out smaller titles to the Wii U. Or sorry, to the Wii. Why the Wii U?
I got you there. You're all confused now.
Yeah, thanks a lot. But these specific games that I want to talk about, these games under Konami's Rebirth brand, were Contra Rebirth, Castlevania The Adventure Rebirth, and Gradius Rebirth. Now, at least in terms of Castlevania The Adventure Rebirth, that is actually a remake of a Game Boy game of the same name, Castlevania The Adventure, which is a canon game, but I'm pretty sure either people have never heard of it or if they have, they've never played it because it is or it still is or was a obscure Game Boy game, and most people avoided it because it was a Game Boy game. They didn't acknowledge it as part of the main canon, even though it is. And they did a really good job on at least that game specifically because it is all like 32-bit style, and the gameplay is like classic Castlevania. So, pre Symphony of the Night. So the only thing you have is an upgradable whip and enemies that come at you with a vengeance. And it's really challenging to play, and it's really fun to play. It's exciting to play. The reason I'm bringing this up is because I knew that the Wii Shop channel was closing its doors. So 6 months ago, when you could still add credits to your account on the Wii Shop channel, I added a bunch of credits so I can buy those 3 games specifically. And I've been playing them over the winter break, and they're really good. I like Castlevania The Adventure because it feels like classic Castlevania. It reminds me of the NES days of like brutal platformers and precision jumping and being skilled in the game. And now you can't buy it anymore.
Oh
I mean, if you
no!
bought it, if you bought
Oh
it on the shop channel, you
no!
can always re-download it for now.
Okay.
We don't know when that's gonna end. The other 2 games are Contra Rebirth, which is not really a remake. It's kind of more of a retelling, and they added cutscenes to the game, which it's okay. But that one is like classic Contra, like NES style hardcore, like one shot you're dead. No Konami code, so you can't add 30 lives to your game. And the last game on here is Contra Gradius Rebirth, which is a remake of the original Gradius on NES. And like all these games have been given like this 32-bit treatment to their art style, but their gameplay is just like classic old school gameplay.
Do they like add
And
anything, or have they changed anything, or have they literally like ported these Game Boy games over to the Wii and that's it?
well, I think because I never with Contra it just feels like Contra.
Okay.
So if you've played Contra on the NES or on the Super NES, um, that's it. Or on the Mega Drive, if for some whatever reason
I played
you
it
felt
on
compelled to play
NES
Contra
Classic or SNES
Hardcore.
Classic. Does that count?
Yeah, yeah. The Super C also counts in that regard, but Super C is it does take it feels a little bit more different than like regular Contra.
Okay.
Like they try to do some slightly different things like any second NES game does. But if you've played like classic Contra on NES, then yes, you know what that feels like. The same goes for Gradius. If you've played Gradius, classic Gradius growing up, it is exactly that same feel, that same motion, that same speed.
Okay.
So I think that one actually does have a. I think that one actually does have like a form of the Konami code that works. So you can boost up your ship to have like all the options and stuff like that until you die.
But is there
So yeah,
like these games are not available anymore, or okay,
no, you can't buy like I said before. The WiiWare games were like exclusive to WiiWare, with a few exceptions like I think Romino's Swords and Soldiers, which got ported to like a lot of systems. Like uh it got ported to mobile, it got ported to PC. It actually recently got re-released on the Switch. So oh right, you don't have a Switch anymore.
what a
Never mind.
surprise! Because a lot of stuff gets re-released on the Switch. Because that's why the Switch is here, so we can play all the old shitty games or old games we forgot about.
Did you forget that I said just now that it's also on PC? And I actually
Oh, I
think that
did.
that
I
game
blocked
eventually,
that stuff
I
out.
think that game actually eventually came out on the PlayStation 3. So
But
what
people
now?
don't. We don't care. PlayStation 3 gamers don't care about that old stuff because we have AAA exclusives or AAA other kind of games we can play, which I can't really mention right now. But that doesn't matter.
Whatever. The point is like most, if not, well, most of those WiiWare titles, and specifically like those 3 are actually a perfect example of why it's a hidden gem,
hmm
because it's on a distribution system that basically doesn't exist anymore. And unless you bought it before the system went down, you don't have no way of accessing that game anymore,
Kind of like
which
BP.
is a real shame why Konami is being complete
Let's keep it nice.
tards.
Let's keep it nice.
Ah, come
You know,
on.
like how I feel towards Konami, so I'm just trying to like contain myself as well.
All right, all right. Cool. So, what is your hidden gem then?
So mine is a game that I never expected to be a hidden gem, and that game is Middle Earth: Shadow of Mordor, and maybe also the
Yeah.
sequel Shadow of War. Um,
Wait, you actually like that game?
the first one or the sequel?
The sequel.
Um, Let me just put it this way. I'll tell you first one about why I like the first one, and then tell you what I liked and disliked about the second one. Like
All right.
I love those Lord of the Rings games, which were made by EA back in the day on the PS2. For example, the Two Towers and the Return of the King. There was these kind of hack and slash games. You could play them together with a friend, which I really loved on PlayStation 2. And then they came out with Battle for Middle Earth and Battle for Middle Earth 2, which was their strategy game. Those RTS games, I love those as well. But then they started to do a few games that really didn't like resonate with fans. They did one called Lord of the Rings Conquest, which was literally Star Wars Battlefront, but with a Lord of the Rings skin, and kind of tanked and caused was one of the reasons why EA shut down Pandemic.
That sounds like it shouldn't work at all.
So, like the idea on paper sounded really cool, but it didn't work. And then they kind of shut down Pandemic shortly after because they had a few games with Pandemic that didn't work out. And then eventually, the license bounced back to, I believe, New Line Cinema and the Tolkien Foundation or whatever it's called. And then all
Yeah.
of a sudden, Warner Brothers got the license, maybe also because they own New Line Cinema. And then they started making Middle Earth: Shadow of Mordor, and it was actually done by the guys behind Fear, that first-person shooter, the kind of
Yeah,
scary
yeah,
one
yeah.
with the little girl. Um, and the funny thing is like I didn't really have this game on my radar because I thought, oh yeah, another Lord of the Rings game or a game set in that world will probably just flop because the last few games we got were shitty. So I kind of like left it off, and
I
then
think you were the only one on that ship, Captain.
yeah, so that's the part why I loved why it's kind of my hidden gem because I kind of like left it what it was. I didn't follow any news or trailers or whatever around it, and then the game came out, and then I saw reviews, and it was like eights and nines and stuff like that. So I was like, okay, this sounds really interesting. I didn't expect this, and then I just bought the game and I started playing the game, and I loved the game. It was this nice combination of an open world game with RPG mechanics and a kind of a Assassin's Creed mixed into there. There was even a small controversy that one of the designers on Assassin's Creed 2 said that they had literally used his animations or his code for some of the
Oh yeah, I
animations in the
remember
game.
that.
Yeah, there was a kind of
Yeah,
a
that was.
controversy around that. Um,
I never understood why they thought that that was true, unless someone from the team moved over to this new
I
team,
don't know
and
like the specifics, but the
yeah, that
animation
was
guy said
weird.
like those are my animations. You're using my animations, but the guy wasn't working at the studio, so I was kind of surprised. Like, okay, so somebody either stole your code or whatever. But yeah, that's
I mean, even if they did, it would have been reverse engineered, so you kind of don't have a leg to stand on there, anyways.
I know what you
At
mean,
least,
but
at least that's what. Like, I
but
don't know
whether
how the law works in terms of that, so I don't know. I don't know. Maybe yeah, maybe no.
yeah, but
Well, yeah, but that was just weird. But as I was saying, Captain, like going down with with the
the
ship,
captain always goes down with the
you're
ship.
like, I mean, I guess because you thought it was gonna be bad, you didn't pay attention to the previews, because if
Yeah,
you did,
yeah.
you would have realized that it was cool because of the good grief, what's it called again, the revenge system,
Yeah, the Nemesis system. So like
the nemesis
that's one
system.
of the
Thanks,
cool
right?
parts about the game. So like, you don't have the Nemesis system on the old console, so on the PS3 and the Xbox 360, it's not there. But on the
No, it's on the
yeah, on the
PC.
PC and the PS4 and the Xbox One, they have this Nemesis system. For people that don't know, is like so all the Uruks you fight or the orcs you fight against kind of like have um, they have like traits and they also know who you are. So if you go to
Yeah.
go to fight with them and they kill you, then they get a promotion. So like they rank up
They
in
move up
the
in rank and get stronger.
yeah,
They get better
yeah,
armor.
yeah. But the cool part
Yeah,
is
yeah.
they like when you encounter them again, they know who you are. So they say stuff like, "Hey, Ranger, last time I chopped off your head, I'm gonna do it again." You know, it's like these funny references they
Yeah,
make to the
exactly.
previous battle because they killed you every time. And then
And then you chop their head off, and then
yeah,
they're like,
yeah,
"Oh, coming back
yeah,
better and stronger," and blah blah blah.
yeah.
Or at least, well, if you take them down but you don't kill them, is when they come back, and then they remember you, and they're like, "Oh, you took my arm,
Yeah,
and
and
now
then
I'm
there's
going
this
to run you
claw or
through with
whatever.
my like
Yeah,
claw, blah blah
yeah. But
blah," and
the
then you
cool
take them
part,
down, and then someone else comes into the rank. Like, here's the thing with the Nemesis system, because I played that game as well, on the PC, um, when it was on discount on Steam,
I paid full 60 because it was
because
worth it.
I'm not saying that it wasn't worth it. It's just that when you're kind of strapped for money, you kind of have to make these decisions.
If anybody's listening
So
to us, we are open for sponsorship, so my friend Max can play all the good stuff and play instead of all the old stuff on the Switch. So all
and when he said
donations are
exactly.
appreciated. It will go to the Help Max Play All the Good Games Foundation.
Does it also come with time? Because I do not have that either.
Well, that's something. Yeah, that's something money can buy.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Like, yes, that is. You know why? Because I agree with you that that is a hidden gem. But you know why I think that is a hidden gem?
um, no, tell me.
Because we literally just talked about it. Because nobody, like, we've had all these open world games. Like, we've had Red Dead Redemption 2. We've had um we've had did that game come out before? No, GTA 5 was already
Yeah,
out. Um
let's not pull a Mass
like,
Effect
what else have we
Andromeda.
had? Yeah, we've had Mass Effect Andromeda. We've had like a bunch of other open world games, and none of them use something even remotely close
The
to the
Nemesis
Nemesis
system.
system. We had two other Batman games, and they didn't use it,
Yeah,
even though the combat in Shadow of Mordor is similar to that of Batman.
yeah, yeah.
Like, why was that not implemented in like Arkham Knight or in Spider Man? Why isn't the Nemesis system an element of that game that people looked at and like, huh, how can we do that, but either in our own way or better? Nobody did that. Not even the developers themselves did that, because in the second game it's more of a tactical action game with armies and stuff,
Yeah,
right?
so like what works great about the Nemesis system is that you can also convert people to your army and you can like have them sneak into the higher ranks and betray other tribal leaders or backstab them. You can kind of like grab a nobody and make them an orc tribal leader. And then in the second game they build on more, but the tricky part is that in the second game you focus. It's more like how they brought it was we're going to focus more on what we did good with the first one, and we're going to expand on that. So, for example, the RPG mechanics are better, and
Yeah.
the weapon mechanics are better. So, like you have armor you can customize right now. You have different kind of swords. You have like runes you can insert into those swords. So it's like more and more and more. And the Nemesis system is a bit better, but yeah, it's not like it didn't have the impact it had as in the first one. So like in the first one, you were like
Okay.
really amazed by this Nemesis system, and in the second one, it's yeah, like for example, you can take fortresses, and then you can put people in charge of those fortresses, and they can defend those fortresses, and the fortresses mechanic plays into the later part of the story, which kind of also ruins the story a bit because like until you reach, I believe there's like a part in the game, and that's what I kind of disliked about the sequel is that you get to a part which is called the Shadow War, and then for 10 straight turns you have to defend all your fortresses. All your fortresses get attacked, and then you have to defend them,
Mm.
and if you fail to defend them you first have to retake them, and it starts out with one fortress, and then the next round it's two fortresses, and then the next round it's three, and then it's 10 rounds of constantly defending all your fortresses, and if you die you have to retake all your fortresses.
Isn't that just horde mode?
Kind of like it, yeah, but it gets more and more
Uh,
difficult in the end, but it's like it feels like filler content. There's not really anything in there that kind of adds to the story. The idea is that your character, without going too much into spoilers, or yeah, we might have to spoil it, is that your character is trying to stop Sauron from advancing with his army, and he does that for years. But like, it feels like a real grind, and that's kind of what made like I finished the game, and until I got to the Shadow War part, I was really liked it. I was really pumped, and then I played the Shadow War, and I was like, I didn't even finish it eventually. I just said, like, you know what, I can't do this anymore. I just looked up the ending and I said, you're not fine. It's okay. I don't want to play this anymore. Yeah. Well, what's cool about the second one is that, for example, the story goes more in depth. For example, you get
Yeah.
to see who the Nazgul are, and the Nazgul are in the Lord of the Rings. The Nazgul are nine kings of men, but you actually get to see who those kings are. So, for example,
Oh,
yeah. So
seriously?
one of them, for example, is Helm Hammerhand, who is his name is mentioned in the Two Towers when at the end before the people
Helm's
yeah
Deep.
before they ride out,
Yeah.
Théoden says stuff like the horn of Helm Hammerhand shall sound in the deep one last time, and then Gimli blows that horn. So Helm
Yeah.
Hammerhand is one of the Nazgul. Isildur is one of the Nazgul. That was kind of like a shocker for me. I didn't expect that one.
Really?
Yeah, that's really cool. Isildur is one of them. So there are like these few man kings you kind of like know of references in the old Lord of the Rings movies. That's really
I
cool.
think the people that read the books right now are probably screaming into their iPhones or like whatever
Yeah,
they're listening to, and they're like, "You idiots! Did you not read the books?"
probably. But like
Like,
it was a cool twist. I didn't expect it. I was like, oh, okay, that's cool
yeah.
to know.
All right. Okay.
Yeah,
That's actually kind of cool.
yeah.
Neat.
So I would
Huh.
advise people to play them both. I had more fun with the first one because again I didn't really pay attention to that game and it surprised me in multiple ways. And the second one built on the foundations of the first one. Is just that the ending is a bit. It's a waste. It's like a shame to see it end that way. They could have done something better.
Yeah. Well, I'll give you the first one, but I haven't played the second one, so I can't speak to that. But if you say that it's at least worth checking out, then I guess then I'll definitely try and check it out if I have a chance to.
Nice.
All right, cool. I guess that's the end of the second segment. Stick around, guys. We're gonna go for a quick break, and we'll come back with our last segment of the week. So stick around.
So, welcome back to our final segment. In this segment, we're going to talk about our experiences with the Anthem private and public beta. Um, I got to play it on the PC. The private one was on the PC, and the public one was on the PlayStation. Did you get any time with it, Max? Besides the like short thing you mentioned at the beginning?
Yeah, it was literally just a short thing, like about an hour tops.
Okay, and you just played
Yeah,
free play,
but
or
I just played free to play, but we're gonna get into it anyways, and I'm gonna explain to you why that was the case.
okay. So for
But let's start off with let's start off with the private beta because at least from your perspective, since you played both,
yeah,
did you did you notice like a big difference in how they played because you said the private one was on PC and the public one was on PlayStation 4. Like in terms of like gameplay, which one felt better to you?
the PlayStation one definitely. It's like
Yeah,
it's really made to play with the controller, and I noticed that a lot because of the flight with your javelin, the suits you play in. Because when you fly around, that and they really nailed that part. It kind of feels like you're Iron Man, which I love. Yeah, but the tricky part is you have to move your mouse on the PC for your pitch and your elevation and stuff like that, and you can't
yeah.
really make those hard turns. So I really had a lot of moments in which I just flew against the wall, or I had to go.
You're able to make hard turns.
I no, well, because I couldn't make any hard turns or difficult turns. I just flew against objects because it's
Oh,
really hard because you're these in some sections you have to go into like tunnels and stuff like that. And you can opt to sprint, but you can fly. I mean, like why run when you can fly? And then
yeah.
often I would just like fly into something.
Well, well, overheating is one reason.
Yeah, but like in general, in those smaller sections, you can like you have to get to the end of the tunnel, which is like either a 10-second flight or a 30-second walk,
Yeah,
and then you'll just say like, let me fly.
true.
But what I noticed on the PlayStation was it was a lot smoother. I could just make fine adjustments. I could just do it better, and I really love the way it played on PlayStation. The controls, and the funny thing is because you're level 10, I believe, in the beta, in both betas, you don't have like a tutorial. So you have to go to a
Don't
website.
even remind me about
Yeah,
that.
you have to go to a website and then they tell you like X does this and square does that. Or on the PC, it's like W does this and space does that. So it's really
Yep.
strange.
Yeah, but see, here's so here's the thing, because I'm assuming that in the private beta it was the same thing. It didn't have a tutorial.
Nope.
Okay, so here's my, like, you can call me out for it, whatever you all want, but I'm gonna say this right now: the fact that it didn't have a tutorial in the beta was a detriment in my opinion, because instead of playing for an hour and getting at least something decent done, I spent 15 minutes trying to fly because I had no idea what button combination I needed to press to finally fly. I figured out hovering in about 10 minutes, and then I was stuck hovering and just hovering and doing nothing but hovering until I finally pressed a button, and I don't even remember the button it is right now.
I think it's
And then suddenly I
L3.
was
Yeah.
flying. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
so why couldn't you just, like, I had to go to the website to even figure that part out.
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't find it in the game itself. Why do I have to go to a website to figure out how to play your game? Like, I'm like, why do I have to do that? I just want to fly around and like shoot stuff, and it took me just too long to get into that
I can imagine.
part of the game. Like the shooting, even like, okay, you said that it plays better with the controllers, and I don't know because I didn't play it on PC, but I will say this: the shooting feels off.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what your opinion is on the shooting, but the shooting feels off.
Like
Like
it reminded me a lot about on Mass Effect 2. I really got the Mass Effect 2 combat feeling, which I kind of liked.
uh, okay, see, so Mass Effect 2, I only played on PC,
I played it on PC as
which
well.
does not support controller support, which means that I played mouse and keyboard throughout, like, the entire franchise,
Okay.
because I played all 3 games on PC, and for some reason they refused, like, controller support on PC. But at least with, like, if you say that if it feels more like a Mass Effect 2, then I think I would have had a better time playing it on PC, because at least there I know how the controls for Mass Effect 2 work.
I think like
I
in
don't
this
know if
case
I would be
because
able to fly, but at least I know how those work.
I think in this case because you're level 10, they thought like you know what, let's not put a tutorial into it. I
That
think like
doesn't matter. You can make me a level 100, but if you don't explain how your game works, especially with like a whole, like, here, you literally have 2 sets of controls. You have your flight controls and you have your on-the-ground shooting controls. People don't just jump in intuitively like you're playing Super Mario Brothers or whatever, or like you're playing like the umpteenth version of Call of Duty and assume that people will know how to fly if those games never had those mechanics. You have to, like, this is, I mean, I know that the betas are mostly to just stress test the
which
servers.
it really needed because in the private beta there were some issues that they had to add capacity to the servers and there was this infinite loading loop bug. So from
Yeah,
that point
but
of view, they got
that
what they
is what
wanted.
that is for. But come on,
Yeah.
try it. Like, throw a guy a bone here. Seriously, I want to, like, if you're trying, like, with the public beta, you have 2 things. You are stress testing, but you're also trying to convince the person who's playing why your game is fun.
Yeah.
Like, why they should pre-order it right now. Why they should buy it when it comes out. But this in my opinion, it didn't feel right to begin with. But I will say this: after I got through it, after I got over the hump, I enjoyed it. Like I liked flying around. It was awesome, but like you see, oh, like my heat meter is going up. Oh, I'll just do like a nosedive and let it cool down, or like fly over like the foggy areas of like the waters and like waterfalls to have the jets cool down and like continue my flight, and just like trying to figure out ways to like extend my flight time. That is awesome. That's cool.
Yeah,
Like
they
even
nailed flying
flying
part.
and like shooting is awesome. And like the free area is basically it. Okay, here's the thing. It feels like Monster Hunter to
World
me.
or
World,
okay.
yeah, it feels like Monster Hunter World when you're like just you're not doing a mission and you're just jumping in and like just going out to slay monsters.
Hmm.
That's how that feels like. But instead of like one big monster that you're facing, or two or three big monsters that you're facing like random encounters of like enemies that just spawn up, and then they start either they don't notice you and you try and sneak up on them and you try to take them out, or they notice you and then they try to shoot at you. Unfortunately, I was the only one that was playing at the time in that segment of the game, so there was nobody to back me up.
Oh,
So
that's
whenever I
strange.
thought, oh, here are some enemies, let me try and kill them, I would kill one, and then the other three would take away my shield, almost kill me, and then I had to retreat.
Okay, because
So,
if you do the
but
missions, it's
at
different.
least like it was like, oh snap, I'm almost dying. I'm gonna take off. I'm just gonna fly and like take off. That is cool.
Yeah,
Like that gameplay loop is actually kind of cool. So I don't have any like experience with the missions. Did you play some missions? I'm assuming you played some missions.
yeah, definitely. But like when you play the missions, it's differently because you it automatically match makes you into a party, so you play with other people. I don't know if you can turn it off or not, but I kind of liked it that it does that. You just pick your mission on the map, and then you can pick the difficulty like easy or hard, and you have Grandmaster and Ultra
Yeah,
Grandmaster and Slayer of the Universe or whatever it's called. And then
Slayer of the
I don't know,
Universe.
I'm just saying something, but like then
Okay.
you say match, then you say start, and then it automatically match makes you, and it's kind of smart how they do it because um, one of the annoying things about the game, and I don't know how that's going to be in the final game, is that there are a lot of loading screens, which is really annoying. And even with an SSD on a
Really?
PC or an SSD in my PlayStation, there are still long loading screens, which is really annoying. But
Wait, I thought this game was like open worldish.
yes, but it doesn't have what I don't know what do they call it again? Like it's not a seamless open world. So there are like a lot of loading screens
Oh.
in between stuff. So like if you want to customize your javelin, loading screen. If you want to matchmake, loading screen. If you want to if you get lost from your party too much, or if you're far too much from your party, you get automatically transported back to where your party is. It has a loading screen.
Oh, I actually experienced that as well because I was flying into an area which apparently was not part of the beta.
Yep.
And then I got a warning sign like you went too far, and then I got a loading screen,
Yeah.
and it loaded me back like a couple of feet away from the invisible wall, which made me go like, okay, so why not just put an invisible wall there instead of loading me back to like a previous point of the area? That makes no sense
I
to
don't know
me.
if it's a beta related thing or not. Like the world's
Okay,
pretty
no,
massive.
that specific part, no, like that
Yeah.
specific part, I'm assuming was part of because of the beta, but
I mean, load times in general. Like,
Yeah, yeah, sorry, yeah, I honestly don't know. I hope
yeah,
not.
because there are these instances in when you where you have to go, like you fly out in the open air world, to put it that way, and then you have to head into a cave. And then as soon as you reach near the cave, then automatically there's a load screen, and you have to wait for it to load. It's not a super long screen, but the fact that the experience gets broken up by these load screens is annoying. And like they kind of mask some things. For example, the matchmaking part, what they do there is that you hit matchmaking, it goes to a loading screen, and then it automatically has the four people you need, and you can just fly out. So that's kind of fast.
Yeah.
It's just that like we are not used to these things because with a lot of open world games, I believe also with Destiny, there's like one load screen until you drop into the mission, and then it's no load screen at all until you finish the mission, and which is kind of like becoming the standard. And then it's strange for them to put in load screens
Yeah,
everywhere.
gee, there was another open world game that did the same thing. That only had load screens when it needed to happen. Gee, what was that called again? Oh yeah, Spider Man. Okay, I'm sorry. If Spider Man is doing a better job of having an open world, well, to be fair, most of this game is taking place in the overworld, anyways. But it's just like
It could be because if it's
that
with
does it
multiple
better.
people, you know, and Spider
That
Man
does
is
it
only
better.
yeah.
Yeah, okay, fine. It's single player, whatever. You know what? We're coming back to Monster Hunter because also that technically does it better.
Okay.
And yes, I know you technically, when you go out, it does load into the world. But once you're in that area, you are in
Yeah,
that
no
area.
load screens or whatever.
Like you can
Yeah.
go to all the other areas on the map, no loading, blah blah blah, except for your transition when you fly back to the main to like one of the base camps. So if Monster Hunter can do it, and they have some badass monsters in that you have to conquer, which take up a lot of CPU time, then I'm a feeling that if you're gonna go against like some random NPC dudes to kill, even if you're in a team, you kind of have to have a better, smoother experience than Monster Hunter.
But besides
Come on,
that, like
it's 2019.
they have a few missions, and they have a stronghold, which is like a harder mission to put it that way. I don't know. Like to be honest,
What missions did you
yeah, I
play?
played a story mission in which you have to retrieve a certain artifact for one of the characters in the game. And the funny thing is, when you're in your javelin, it's third person. When you're out of your javelin, it's first person. They did say that like they're gonna do a lot of improvements because when you walk around in Fort Tarsis, as they call it, which is like the single player hub, you walk really slow, and they said that they're gonna fix that. They said that they're gonna fix the PC controls, by the way, so that should be better.
Okay,
But
whatever
like,
that means.
what you go to one of these characters, you pick up the mission, and then you get back into your javelin, and then you have to retrieve an artifact, which is um, it was a fun mission. I played it with three other people, random people. I got matchmaked into it, and then the
Yeah.
tricky part for me was is that you have to fly to places, and then you have to like fight enemies or hold off enemies, like waves come at you. It's cool because you get to use different abilities, but then at near the end of the mission we got to a puzzle, and there were like no clear hints for me on how to solve the puzzle. So like it was me and another dude in one room for 15 minutes walking around trying random stuff, and we could not find any hint on what the puzzle should contain or how the puzzle works. And then I tried looking it up, but because it was so new, there was nothing on the internet about how to solve that puzzle. So
Were you guys at least able to like communicate in any way?
no, wait, I had voice turned off, and he didn't use voice as well. So like the guy randomly did something, and then we triggered the mission or the cutscene, and then we got the object and we finished the mission. And then I was like, okay, cool. It took us
Oh, that
15
that's
minutes to
the
get
that's the
there.
way to rock a beta, man.
Yeah, yeah, and like I played the a stronghold mission as they called it, which is like I think a bit like an end game or like a tougher mission, something like that. But it had a boss battle at the end as well. So you had these um, echoes you had to collect, and then you had to fly back to one point to collect them all, and that would disable like a
Yeah.
structure, blah blah blah. And then at the end, you would get to this big boss, and then the boss also had like a way of defeating it. So you would first shoot the shiny parts, and then it would retreat, and there would be a lot of enemies or NPCs coming at you, and then it would come back. You would shoot again at the shiny pieces. So it's like Monster Hunter esque. The fun thing was is you get to use your ultimate ability. In my javelin, it was like this massive grenade launcher. So I would see
All right.
these NPCs coming at me, and then I would just fire up my rockets, feeling like an Iron Man or a Warhammer. No,
Yeah.
what's the other guy called in Iron Man?
But Titanfall?
No, the other guy in Iron Man. What is he called again? War Machine.
Oh,
I felt like a
War
war
Machine.
machine. Yeah, firing all these rockets, shooting. Ah! It was really that like they nailed the combat part. That's really well. This the only thing I'm concerned with, and that's kind of with all these games, is that the story tells itself through like these conversations. It's not really cutscenes they have. So while you're
Yeah.
doing stuff, you get like they talk into your ear, and sometimes like I missed it because I was still shooting stuff, or I was focused on something else, or I was looking around for loot. So I have the same issue with Destiny that I like kind of lose what the story's about, which kind of like
Because
makes
it's
it
all in
difficult for
game.
me. Yeah, 'cause with the second Destiny, they've kind of fixed it with cutscenes, but with this game, I was at moments I was really struggling. Like, okay, I have no idea what we're doing or why we're doing it. I'm just doing it because the objective tells me to do it, but
Okay,
I don't know why.
okay, but in see like in those cases, it's the reason why I turn on subtitles in games these days
I had that
because
on as well.
I because I know that some games will try and pull this crap, and that's fine. You want to create more immersion in your game, but if I'm playing if I'm in a firefight and I'm trying to hang on for my dear life, I don't have time to listen to your stupid little banter about your little kid brother who like did something and like now is on the team as well, like on a different team, and you're giving me all this backstory. I'm like, stop talking, start shooting. So, like, I get it. It's just it's the reason why I use subtitles now because otherwise I'm gonna miss like lore
But
stuff
the funny thing is,
or crucial hints during the battle.
yeah, the funny thing is that, and that's maybe like a completely different game. Is I played the Division Two beta today, and that game puts in my experience, more emphasis on story, and I was able to follow the story without any issues, even though I was kind of like in the same situations as in Anthem. So yeah, that's the like I didn't expect that, but they do manage to tell a better story then, and like there are more pauses in combat to like get up to speed with where you're going in the story. And then I didn't have that with Anthem. It was like la 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 la,
Well,
la, and
maybe
then a few seconds of pause, and then it was like, okay, go. We need to fly off somewhere else, and then we go away.
maybe Anthem's gameplay loop is just different in terms like compared to like Division 2. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I guess I'd have to play Division 2 to see how that works out in terms of like conveying the story, I guess. Um yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm gonna be completely honest. When they first introduced Anthem, I wasn't really that jazzed for it. Like, I think I talked about it last episode because their emphasis was like, oh, it's coming to Xbox One X, and look, it's gonna be native 4K and blah blah blah. And it ended up not being native 4K. It was checkerboarding and blah 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 and yada yada yada. And like to me it kind of felt like they were focusing on the wrong part of the game. Yes, it looks really pretty and even on my base PS4 it looks really nice, but at the end of the day you're playing a game because you want to play a game. If I want to see something pretty, I'll go see a movie, and even then I can still get disappointed. But yeah, I mean,
And like the funny
I'm
part
still
is,
looking for. Like, here's the thing: I'm still looking forward to Anthem, just to see how the community reacts to it, because you now have Anthem, which is coming out what, like 2 weeks from now?
22nd of February.
Yeah, the 22nd. So
Yeah.
like 2 weeks from
Yeah.
now, and EA just dropped another game, a free to play game, which is also squad based
Yeah.
on all the systems. So, like, I mean,
But
why the timing makes no sense. Like, the timing doesn't make sense if you want your audience to be playing your games. Because now, I mean, they did something similar with Titanfall 2 when that came out. Because that came out like
they brought it out in the worst period
right in
ever.
between Call of Duty and
Yeah.
Battlefield.
I loved Titanfall 2, but it like was released in the wrong moment, and everybody said that.
But how long did you play it?
I just finished the single player because I like initially bought it just for the single player. So I finished the single player. I tried multiplayer, but I can't play those games anymore because it's all too fast, and I feel like I'm gonna have a seizure, like so that's why I don't play those games.
Yeah, but okay, even if you did play it for the single player, you were able to finish it. You moved on to
Yeah,
Battlefield 1, right?
I love that.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
the question is now either when 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 Anthem comes out, are people going to stop playing Apex Legends, or are they going to continue? Because who knows what they're going to do? Because that game you can play it right now. You don't have to spend any money for it, and you can have what I am assuming is a blast. Because
Yeah.
I only played it. I only played one match and I sucked. I'm gonna try it again throughout the weeks to see if it grabs me. But honestly, I'm not really that big into like battle royale kind of games to begin with. So let's see. At least I'm gonna play enough of it to try and formulate an opinion on it like properly.
I think that in this case, like it's more of a, it could be a business move because EA announced their quarterly earnings like a few days ago, and they said that Battlefield
Ooh,
underperformed by like a million or something like that. It sold 7.3 million, and they expected to do like I believe a million or a million two more than that. And
yeah,
they,
and then their stocks
yeah,
tanked.
by 20%. But like I think one of the answers the CEO Andrew Wilson gave was like that they focused on the wrong aspects of the game, which kind of worked against the game. They focused on a single player experience instead of, for example, on a battle royale mode. Like they were open from the start by saying, "Hey, we're gonna do battle royale," but they said we're gonna do it in March. So like
Yeah, I don't think anybody's gonna care about that by the time it comes out.
I hope so. I don't hope so because it really looks nice, but I think that because of the way they approached that and the way they organized their marketing around it, the game was unable to build up the right momentum to sell or to be better than it was because they also had these issues with like the goofy looking characters with the hooks and the prosthetics and the not accurate character design. Whereas people were like Battlefield is always known for being semi accurate, and people were like, okay, but why is that character having a hook? And it looks like a cartoony game, and there are female characters in
Did
it,
I
but
miss something?
was it
Okay, to be fair, I don't follow Battlefield stuff, but did I miss something?
yeah, that was in the beginning when the like in the first trailer, I believe, you had characters walking around with prosthetic arms and hooks on the end of
Well,
it. So
that's
like,
not normal.
I don't think it's normal for that time, or at least I don't think it's what people expected from a Battlefield game, a World War II game. And it was also like that.
Huh.
Some people said like, "Hey, there are female characters in it, but it's not accurate because at that time there weren't a lot of female characters in the army." Like, I don't care about that stuff. I mean, like, I'm all diversity, but it kind of slowed down stuff. It was like, well, so it was constant. Every news around Battlefield was a lot more of a negative
Who
focus
on
than on a
earth plays
positive.
Battlefield for the accuracy?
Sorry?
Who the hell plays Battlefield for the accuracy? That's what Brothers in Arms was for.
Yeah, but like that's like a completely different angle because that's also more focused on realism. And with Battlefield, like they don't do weird stuff like cartoony characters and the stuff they had. It was a
So apparently the world forgot about Battlefield Heroes.
I think so. I don't know. Maybe it's because Battlefield
Do
Heroes
you
wasn't.
even know what Battlefield Heroes
Yeah, yeah,
was?
it was a cartoon game. You could sit on the wings of a plane and shoot. I know.
That was fun.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, like it could. I think if they re-released that game in a battle royale game, kind of like Fortnite,
Oh,
it might
please stop
have
now.
more
EA,
appeal.
don't listen to us. Don't listen to us. Don't re-release it as a Battlefield like don't battle
But
royale
to
game.
get
Never
back to
mind.
my
We never
point,
talked about it. Battlefront Heroes what? No, that doesn't exist. No, 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 no,
Battlefield
no, no.
Royale.
Let's wrap it up
But
before
like
they suddenly make another
to be
battle
fair,
royale game. I honestly can't take it
I
anymore.
understand. But like
If another battle royale game comes out this year, I think I'm going to like cap someone.
oh, there's gonna be a lot of battle royale games. But I think it's more of a business move because they kind of so they missed momentum with that. So they brought out Apex, which is like their battle royale game, so they can kind of warm up games.
Mhm.
I mean, like after a day, they had 2 million players, which is kind of nice for a game that just dropped
Well,
out
it
of the
is
blue.
free.
Yeah, but like the funny thing is
Well,
when you look
that
at
it
it,
is
they
free,
just
and don't
announced
forget,
it
like
out
a
of the
bunch of
blue.
influencers played that game.
Yeah,
Like I don't know if you did you get that part, like
yeah,
where because like a whole bunch of influencers were like streaming it on
yeah.
Twitch.
They invited them up. They had them play because eventually on Sunday it started to leak out, and some of those influencers were kind of like semi confirming it through Twitter that there might be an announcement around a certain game. But like for a game that just got dropped out of the blue, it's really nice. It's really polished. I really like the game, and it's free. I mean, it's available on almost everything except the Switch. And it's
Well, they did say they were looking into trying to get it on the
yeah.
Switch. So
I'm like, and I think
yeah,
that it's more of a business
I
move.
mean, it's fine. Honestly, I don't think the Switch needs another battle royale game because there are already way too many battle royale games on the Switch. I'm good.
I don't. Yeah.
Really, it's fine.
I think like in the end, I think it's a business move. Like they want to warm people up for battle royale, and then when Battlefield battle royale drops or Firestorm as it's called, people can hook onto that. As for Anthem, I think that like they have a lot riding on Anthem because it's their first proper live service game. Like yeah, Battlefield has a live service, yeah, Star Wars has it, but like this is like their first original IP which has a live service which is like focused on that, so they have a lot riding on it. And after the debacle of Mass Effect Andromeda, it's kind of also a moment for Bioware to kind of prove themselves and so show people like, hey, we still got this, you know.
Ooh. Okay, before we wrap this up, I'm since you brought that up, I want to ask you this question before we head off. Should Anthem fail? I'm not saying it's going to, but should for whatever reason the game critically bomb and financially fail,
Yeah,
what do you think will happen with BioWare? Because don't forget they also kind of sort of announced the new Dragon Age game at the Game Awards last year. So they are working on another project with another team,
they have
with another
multiple
BioWare
Bioware
team
studios,
for
so
that.
yeah.
So
Um, to be fair, I don't like worst case scenario. They'll shut down Bioware and ship the project off to another team in EA to do it. They kind of did it with the Star Wars game by Motive. They shipped it around EA Vancouver and stuff like that. So they have that flexibility. I don't think they'll do it because there will be some fan backlash if they do it. But
there's some.
it'll be just like another hit towards Bioware. Like they brought out another game which kind of sucked or failed or whatever. Um, Best case scenario, EA might pull like a 180 and then ask BioWare to do Knights of the Old Republic because there was this rumor that surfaced that BioWare really wants to do a Knights of the Old Republic sequel, and then EA keeps saying no, we're not gonna do a Knights of the Old Republic sequel. So EA
I
might
don't
do.
think they have the time to do another one.
Yeah, like if they started out in time, we might finally get one of those games. Um, but I think that like worst if it comes to that, EA might do a 180 and say, you know, hey Bioware, you remember that Knights of the Old Republic stuff you wanted to do? Please do that, and then they'll probably announce it to keep fans happy and then do it.
I don't know, man. The fat cats at EA have been making really stupid decisions lately. So who knows at this point? Honestly, I hope that if if it does happen and for some reason Anthem doesn't end up being a success, I hope they don't close BioWare. I still think that they have potential. It's just they either need more time or they need better guidance.
They
I
already
honestly
postponed the
don't
game
know at
once,
this point.
so yeah. But like the guidance could be in the form of Casey Hudson coming back to the studio. And I mean, like they've been working
Maybe.
on this game for a couple of years now, so it's like 4 years. Because back when Casey Hudson was at BioWare, they started development on Anthem, and then he left, and they were also already working on it. So it's been a game that's been in the works for a long time. It's just that it has a lot of stuff riding on it because it's this big game, and like the thing they have in their advantage is that they've been open with the fans from day one. Like they emphasize it multiple times, like, hey, we're going to be open and transparent with you, we're going to share as much as we possibly can, and they're doing that. They said like stuff like, hey, we're going to do free DLC, you don't have to pay for it, we're going to come up with great end game stuff, we don't have PvP yet, but that's something we could look at. So like they're not dodging the questions, they're like giving open and honest answers on those. It's just that they have to have a good launch and then keep
Yeah.
people involved. Otherwise, it'll turn out to be another Destiny.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, I guess time will tell. And I mean, we'll see when it comes out, and we'll see after it comes out how it does. If it does well, if it doesn't do well. Um, I honestly hope it does more because I like having BioWare around, and it would be a shame to see another like legacy developer shutter its doors for stupid reasons like this.
Yeah, I think
Um,
they have their name going for them, so they won't like easily go to a close. But yeah, you never
well, you never know. All right,
know.
okay. I guess that wraps it up for today, or this for this episode. I'd like to thank you, Sean Templar. You're not on social media, but if you want to hit him up, you can always hit him up on the official Game Rivals Twitter, which is at game underscore rivals underscore. Sorry, the Twitter handle is really annoying. You can find me on at Maximilian on Twitter. If you want to hit me up, or you can hit up you can hit us up on Anchor. Uh, if you feel like you want to contribute to this podcast, please feel free to send a voice clip. Give us a five-star rating on Apple Podcast or on the Google Podcast app
Subscribe.
or wherever you listen to your podcasts.
Just show the love.
So just show the
Yeah.
love. And if you have any like feedback, positive, negative, well, not negative, but constructive feedback, we welcome it. We're still working out on the kinks, and we hope you are at least enjoying listening to our sultry tones and
And our ramblings.
our ramblings about video games and sniping each other down as much as possible. And yeah, so thanks again for listening, guys. And
Talk to you
will
next
you
week.
take us out, Sean Templar?
Thank you, everybody. We will talk to you soon. Have a nice day. Bye.
Later.